I, Divendra Kashyap.
And I, Rishita Chaudhary from Army Public School Shillong, are here today to discuss Swamiji's speech on Hinduism in the World Parliament of Religions in Chicago in 1893. Let's start at the very beginning of it all, the very core of it all, the very heart of it all, the evolution of Hinduism. The Vedas. Another common misconception has been propagating in the masses that claims that the Vedas are books. But every book is said to have started at a point and concluded at another. But the Vedas, they have no beginning and they have no end. And that is the primary reason as to why they cannot be considered as books. For they are the accumulated treasury of the spiritual laws that govern the functioning of the spiritual world, and laws, as we know them, are always valid irrespective of when or how they are discovered. Moving on to the soul, the Atma. The soul can neither be created nor be destroyed, because what is the soul? Fundamentally, it is energy. And as has been dictated to us through the rational findings of science, energy can neither be created nor be destroyed, it can only be transformed and transported. And that is also the case with the soul. It is free to travel from one place to another, and the instrument that holds the soul during its travel, during its journey, is the body. The vehicle that the soul boards during the journey, that is the body. And the body is nothing but just a combination of material substances destined to corrode, we know, up to a point of time. The point of time being death. For the body is conceived and everything that is born must die. Let's take an example. Just as the vessel that holds water may break, but the water continues flowing, so also the body that holds the soul disintegrates, but the soul goes on living. In simple words, the soul is indeed like a traveler. The soul is the traveler. But what is its guide? Its guide is karma. Its actions, its karma determines the address of the soul, determines which bodies the soul ends up in, determines under which situations the soul must persevere. And now, an eternal question arises. Well then, is the journey of the soul endless? Is the voyage endless? What is the destination of the soul? Well, the destination of the soul is the Almighty Soul, God Himself, who is life and who is truth. And in the words of Swamiji, the souls are the children of the Almighty Soul, the sharers of His immortal bliss, holy and perfect beings. And the amalgamation of the soul with the Almighty Soul will only be possible once the soul breaks free of its shackles of worldly materialism, which prevent it from realizing its own underlying perfection. Hinduism, polytheistic or monotheistic? A debate that has been raging on since times immemorial. Surprisingly, Hinduism is monotheistic as opposed to contrary beliefs, and the Brahman represents the monotheism of Hinduism. The different images of gods are but symbols of the same Almighty, and the Hindu believes that every religion is a process of evolving God out of man at its fundamental core.
So what is right? Science or faith? According to Swamiji, physical individuality is a delusion. If we are desirous of clinging to that little individuality, to that little materialistic universe, we can never achieve the ultimate reality, the ultimate truth. That can only be achieved by means of unity. And science provides us just that. Science is the finding of unity. Coming to the third point, manifestation and not creation. We learned in previous slides that God has no beginning and no end. Similarly, we, the souls, who are in fact a part of God, the Almighty Himself, do not have any beginning or end. And as such, we are governed by the laws of manifestation and transformation, and not by the laws of creation and destruction. Swamiji, in his paper on Hinduism, discussed the idea of a universal religion. These are the characteristics of that universal religion. It should not be dependent on location or time. Now, by location, I mean geography. We all know that geography determines our languages, our cultures, and traditions. But the universal religion will provide us a platform to be one, to break the barriers of geography, to break free of the shackles of caste, creed, and race. Secondly, it should be infinite like the God it will preach. Moving on to the third point, it should offer a place to every human being. Swamiji quoted, "To devote your life to the good of all and to the happiness of all is religion." Moving on to the benefits of a universal religion to an individual. No place for persecution or intolerance, and which will recognize divinity in every man and woman. Its whole scope will be aiding humanity to realize its own true nature. The conclusion. Truth is eternal. Truth is the means by which we can attain the ultimate reality. And Brahman is that ultimate reality. According to Hinduism, the Vedas are the ultimate authority that guide us, that lead us to the ultimate truth, the ultimate reality. Moving on to karma. Karma gadikarastu mafaleshu kadachan. This means that we have the right to fulfill or perform our prescribed duties, but we are not entitled to the fruits of our deeds, to the fruits of our actions. It is only when we stop hoping for the fruits of our actions, of our deeds, that we attain moksha or mukti, which basically means liberation from the cycle of death and misery.
Well, the burning question then, what is religion? From the point of view of the Hindu, from the perspective of the Hindu is inquisitive. He simply does not accept that which is being offered to him. His journey is all about exploration and realization of being and becoming, not merely hearing or acknowledging. The gist of all worship, irrespective of the manner of worship, he believes, is to be pure and to do good to others, for the goal of all is same, for the destination is universal. In the words of Swamiji, religion is the idea which is raising the brute into man and man unto God, meaning that the saint and the savage both reside within our thoughts. The savage chooses to ignore the suffering of the masses and continues his wretched existence. The saint on the other hand, pauses and helps alleviate that suffering. The choice is ours. Do we wish to harness the savage, or do we wish to harness the saint?
To conclude, Hindu religion does not consist of struggles and attempts to believe a certain doctrine or dogma, but in realizing, not in believing, but in being and becoming. Thank you.
I'm really happy by your beautiful presentation, and I have a number of questions but no time. I would like to ask only two questions. Swami Vivekananda delivered his lecture in Chicago in 1893, and we are still in 2021. How far Swami Vivekananda's lecture is relevant and essential for today's context? This is one. And second question, because you talk about the religion and science, There is a famous quote of Albert Einstein. He says, religion is blind without science, and science is lame without religion. Please explain.
So the question was about the relevance of Swamiji's speech in today's world. For relevance to witness fruition, the prerequisite is that of realization. If one is not able to grasp the concepts of what is being said to him and what is being taught to him, if he is not able to understand that, in the sense if he is not able to realize that, the words will just remain as words. So it is dependent on us, the souls, to realize that, to realize the importance of that which he said and to work on it. Because that is all life is all about. It's a journey.
Einstein's book, Albert Einstein, famous scientist. Once he concludes, religion is blind without science, and science is lame without religion. Please explain this thing, because you have brought this thing, the relation between science and religion.
Just whatever you feel.
Deeply.
Whatever you feel.
It is not the examination hall.
No, it's an examination hall.
All answers are
Different kind of examination, because we want to examine your IQ in this sense.
Your presence.
So like I said, science is the finding of unity. And all that religion requires is unity. And science provides us that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you.